Alright, what's up guys? So we got this fucked up motor mount out of my car. You can see where it used to be, and now it's not. And my motor's been jumping really bad, so I thought I'd give this a try. So we're gonna fill it with silicone. Alright, so I got this Proline Loctite Premium Construction Adhesive. And it's, if I can get it to focus, polyurethane. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to cut out as much as possible all the old rubber and get this little metal spacer out of the rubber real quick. And then I'm just going to fill it, and I'm going to mount the, it's really important you try to get this. Some cars, the spacer will be at the very bottom or the very top. Mine's right in the middle, so I got it kind of easy. But you're going to start by scraping all of this out. All the old rubber. You can see mine's like, there's supposed to be hydraulic oil in here, and mine's just all gone. So I'm gonna just take literally a steak knife. I'm literally just taking the steak knife and cutting all of this out. You can use like a razor blade, or you can burn it out with a torch. But I'm just using that knife, and I'm gonna get as most of this out as possible. And this stuff actually works pretty good. I've done motor mounts with it in the past. You can use 3M window weld if you want something a little sturdier, but I just like a simple mount. I don't want the motherfucking car to vibrate to hell, but I want it to be sturdy enough where I don't have to buy another one of these. These things are like $50, $60 a piece, and this is like the 10th one I've had. So I'm giving up. This should work pretty good. And for basically, I'm using this much probably, and this thing was $5. It was $4. You can do maybe 10 mounts with that if you do it right. So I think a dollar amount is much better, especially if you already have the old ones laying around. But I'm gonna start cutting all this out, and hopefully it looks good. Dude, this comes out a lot easier than you think. Like, it took me like 2 seconds. I'm gonna finish this up real quick. Alright, that took goddamn 20 minutes. So this is as good as I got the bolt. Most of it's off, but I did kind of want to leave a little bit on there for the polyurethane to bite into. And then this is completely gutted out of all the plastic except for like on the very edge. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. And once again, that's not going to bother you. I'm going to finish cleaning it up. Next thing you're going to do after you get all that done is take it to the sink and use Dawn dish liquid. Don't use anything else. The grease fighter one, it's the best one I've seen. And a sponge, and just really get in there. This is hydraulic oil. The polyurethane is not going to want to stick to this. You can see my hands are literally covered in this shit. It's everywhere. And see, it's on my deck now. So just make sure you clean the living shit out of this thing. You really want that polyurethane to have something to stick to. And then after I get this cleaned up, you know, that should be the easiest thing. I will I'll get to what to do next. Alright, so now that it's spanking clean, super gutted out, you're going to take a piece of cardboard and cut it around the motor mount and tape it on. I just used some painter's tape that I had laying around. Use duct tape or whatever, and then you're going to make a hole in the middle of the cardboard or wherever your bolt spacer, whatever the fuck it's supposed to be called, is directly where it's supposed to be. Then you're going to take your screwdriver and find something that you can just kind of like make sure it's not going to move around, and then you use the roll of painter's tape to try to like lift it up so that the bolt has room to come out. And then you're basically just going to start filling in from the bottom any weird crevices that you can't get to very easily, and just start squirting it in and do a little piece, like a little layer, and then you're going to smooth it over, make sure there's no air bubbles, try to get it as flat as you can to the cardboard, and then let it sit for a second, do another layer, do it again, just slowly work your way up all the way to the top. And it should be good. It's like a 30-minute per mount project. Shouldn't take you guys too long. And you get to save like, I don't know, however much a new engine mount is, plus it's a little sturdier, a lot sturdier. Might make your car vibrate a little bit more, but it's nowhere near as bad as the window weld. And this shit lasts forever. Like, I'm talking years. I had them on my one car for like 2-3 years. And if you get even stronger stuff like the window weld, it doesn't go bad. Unless like you slam your motor on the bottom of a curb or some shit like my buddies and completely fuck your car. You usually get a little tear. But the main thing is just to make sure that this is right, because when, say it's like a little bit too high on one side, you're gonna have to like rip it through to make it fit in the mount, or it's just gonna rip it. Yeah, just make sure it's even. It's the best you can do. I'm gonna start filling this thing. All right, so I'm done. Well, for the most part, I'm gonna end up going back over it and making it look pretty. You can do whatever the fuck you want after this point. You're just letting it sit for 24 hours. My biggest problem is I get like bugs and stuff landing in it while I'm letting it dry outside, and that's fine because I usually go back over it and do the thinnest layer just to make sure everything looks smooth. And you know, you can add dye or whatever the fuck you want to do. You can put quarters, around it. It doesn't fucking matter. This shit's not going anywhere. It's fucking sturdy. It's already like, we're not even like 10 minutes into the drying. It's already dried to the touch. Like, I'm pushing on it pretty hard. I wouldn't do this if I were you. I just tested it real quick to make sure it was dry. But like little air bubbles and stuff, if you did have any, they're gonna start floating to the top. I wouldn't worry too much about it. The shit's pretty sturdy. But it's gonna take 24 hours to cure. I'm just gonna wait till tomorrow morning because usually they just say 24 hours if it's gonna be a long curing process. They have to tell you more time than it really is just to make sure. My biggest tip, other than take your time, is wear fucking gloves and work somewhere where it doesn't matter, because this shit does not come off. It's stuck on my fucking hands. You can see how shiny the hands are from this stuff. It's my fault, and I did not smooth this over good enough whenever I was letting it start to dry. But you know, I went over it like 10 times. I was starting to get annoyed, and I get to the point where I feel like once you keep working on something, it starts fucking with you, and you end up messing more stuff up. So I'm just gonna let it dry. It looks pretty good. Let's see if I can get a close-in shot without the light fucking it up. That's tape, by the way. It's just tape. But this shit is sturdy, and it looks pretty damn good to me. And for $5, I really don't care. I just need the damn motor mount fixed. I'm about to do my other 3 tomorrow. But I just wanted to get this one done. I wanted to see what color the caulk was, because I usually use the black window weld, but this stuff's a lot cheaper and it's not as stiff, and that's what I was going for. But I guess we'll check in tomorrow and see how it looks in the morning. But I'm happy with it. Thank God it's fucking fixed. This shit was making me go crazy. The motor's been jumping out the fucking car, and I've had window weld hold up a 600-700 horsepower motor. I'm hoping this can handle like a 400 horsepower. So if it does that, I'm happy. But we'll check it out tomorrow, and yeah. Alright guys, so it's the next day, and this motherfucker is fucking hard. Like, there's just enough like on the bottom, there's like a little bit of like squish, but it's so fucking hard. This is way harder, and this is the part I'm excited about. It's like a Christmas present. Jesus, I put a lot of tape on here. Who thought painter's tape was this sticky? I'm scared the cardboard's gonna be stuck to it like the last time. And the cardboard is stuck to it like the last time. Well, I mean, I guess if you did want to get the cardboard off, you can soak it in water. That's what I did last time. But I mean, another way you could do is probably use plastic or like a piece of Tupperware, or I mean, even a sheet of metal. But I'm happy. I've got the motor mount again. I'm gonna pull all this leftover tape off, make it look pretty. But Jesus, it looks so much better than that big ass ripped open. I should have taken a picture of what it looked like in the car with the weight of the motor on it. The whole thing was like pulled out, like one side was hanging out and then the other side was completely like pulled in. But this is actually pretty good. I can't wait to test it. Hopefully, I've never done it with one of these mounts. This took a lot to fill it, but hopefully it looks good.